So you can only prepare and you can only do what you can do. So we're fortunate Windhoek, so we're pretty comfortable with the heat. So heat in Windhoek is 32, 34 degrees, but it's a dry heat. So it's not when you get to Dubai and you walk out of the airport and that heat, 42 degrees with humidity of 80% is hitting you. So what we did is obviously sitting in steam rooms and saunas and stuff to do whatever we can to prepare. So we wanted to do whatever we can, but it's never the same. So after our first training session in Dubai, half of the team actually felt sick of the heat. And then it was a big eye-opener for everyone to see, well, this is the real thing now. But the more you're going to do it, the more they get used to these sort of conditions as well. So it was a first, but we did go there for a reason, and the reason is world rankings. I think it was actually very simple. We just knew we didn't play enough. We didn't execute what we wanted to execute, so we were just off on that day. So our skill development and everything that we've practiced, there was none of it. So I think it was still just arriving there and a few girls just struggling with the heat. I think it was a little bit overwhelming, and then obviously playing against a very good UAE team. It was never going to be a pushover. But we just knew that day we didn't execute well enough, and the next day was another opportunity. And we know in T20 cricket, not just in women's T20 cricket, men as well, you need momentum. And the moment when you've got momentum, you've got to keep that momentum, and that's what we fought for. Yeah, we knew we were on the back foot then. After, if you go 1-0 down in a series like that, all of a sudden you have to start playing catch-up cricket, and you don't want to play catch-up cricket. So we just have to say, listen, the previous game was gone, and now we just got to start all over again. And that was basically the message, because we know we can perform way better than what we did perform in the first game. Yeah, it takes a lot of pressure off you. So we as coaches, we always smile as well. If the team is doing well, it's a really good side. If the team is not doing well, it's the coach's fault. So we know that coaches are coaching and waiting to be fired. But I mean, we're just passionate here in Namibia, and I think we've got a good relationship, all our coaches here as well, and we just want Namibia cricket to do well, whether it's men's or girls. So we're very passionate about cricket, so we just want to drive it, and it's our responsibility, and it starts with the coaching and the managing staff. So we're excited to see how far we can push this and where we can end up, and finishing with the world rankings with both men and women. Well, I don't think every player is so fortunate to get opportunity to play this level, to represent your country. So me as a coach, I always say every game you got to play as if it's your last game, because you never know if you're going to get that opportunity again. So you got to be ruthless. At this level, you really got to be ruthless. So that's why we were, as a team, a little bit disappointed about the last match as well, because we've got this sort of thing going on where we're playing really well during tournaments and then we're fading towards the end. And so again, that happened in this series. So we were all over UAE. We had some really good momentum, and then at the end, we didn't turn up in the last match again. So that is something that we need to address. Oh, you always got to lead by example. So she used to be the captain of this country, and now she's the vice captain. And you've got to lead by example. We all know she's an exceptional player, and she's still young, 25 years old, so she's still got a long career. And I think she's just starting. We all know batters is starting to find their maturity around about 27. So she's still figuring that out. But with the likes of Mamata there to guide her, and obviously with that experience, we could just see now in UAE again. She was in a different league in both teams, and there's some really good players in both of those sides. But Yasmin was just in a different level. Her stroke play is exceptional. She hits the ball clean, and then just strike rotation. And that is, it's nice to have a player like that in your dressing room, especially we're quite a young side. So a lot of those youngsters are definitely looking up to Yasmin, and she sets the tone. If a player like that goes out and perform well, everyone in the change room becomes really comfortable and just feed from Yasmin in those sort of games. It's tough. It's not easy. So we're not that fortunate where the teams like UAE and everyone's close together, where you see the whole squad at the same time. And that's never going to change. Countries like this is a big country, small population, 2.4 million people in the whole country, where very few is playing women's cricket. So it's a very small number. And education is very important. So they need to go to university. Some of our players, like Audrey van der Merwe, is studying in South Africa. And so that's never going to be ideal. So you got to find some solutions. The problem is there. The problem is never going to go away. But how do you deal with that? So the only time when I see all the players is when I'm having national camps. But we've got high performance coaches at the coast where those girls are taken care of, but it's not the same. Windhoek, you can just see the difference in the Windhoek players. That's what I'm getting paid for. I'm an international coach and I need to improve my players, but I can't be everywhere. So I try to travel as much as I can to answer your question. But yeah, skill level, and with funding as well, we can actually now from Cricket Namibia side get more quality coaches into our program as well, and they can deal with the men's high performance programs and with the women's high performance programs. And then Pierre, the national men's coach, and my job is becoming much easier. Like I said, the numbers are so small and the distances are huge. I mean, this coming weekend again, I've got 6 of my national teams playing basically club cricket at a women's tournament, but that's up in the north. That's 400 kilometers from Windhoek again. So you got to rely on those development coaches to do a good job. We identified it as a problem, the batting, and where we got a lot better is off the front foot. So we're playing really well off the front foot, but we get stuck now, and we could see that in this tour again, we got stuck on the back foot. So that is now for our preparation for the Africa World Cup qualifiers again in December. It's a lot of the back foot. That's again spin and seam, where we can go back and expose different areas of the back foot. So we're really focusing a lot of back foot play and playing a little bit more square of the wicket, because we playing off the front foot really well in front of the wicket, but we're striving to play square of the wicket and off the back foot.